If your song feels too safe, too much like a copy, or too much like something that 1,000 other people already did, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you just have to make your music more personal. And how to do that? Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today. Because often when people hear you need to make your music more unique, they think of, I don't know, doing some crazy production, coming up with a new genre, recording raw, distorted vocals, or mixing your music like you're deaf. But personal shouldn't mean messy, it should mean like intentional. It should basically sound like you know what you're doing and you know how to express yourself. And every lyric, every sound, every new take you add should feel intentional. It should feel like something that only you could come up with. And it should also fit together well. And I think finding that balance is something that a lot of artists lack. On one side, you have artists that choose the same R&B type beats that they've been choosing for the past 10 years and that 10 other people already recorded on. And they're recording boring vocal takes. They're mixing their vocals just to be clean, and they're generally not doing anything differently than other artists. And then on the other side, you have people who are edgy and like try to do everything differently. And their songs sound random and they low-key just sound bad because the vocal doesn't fit to the beat is mixed poorly, or everything is distorted, and it's just not a good sound. The goal isn't really to sound normal like everyone else, but the goal shouldn't also be just to sound different. Like, it shouldn't be the only goal. Your music has to be personal, and I'm sure you can agree with that. You want to make your music personal, you want to make it sound unique. And after all, music is about expressing yourself, so it means you need to make it more personal. And I think a great place to start is the lyrics, because that's something you as an artist have the most control over. And you can start by, for example, instead of singing vague lyrics, try to make it more personal and like let people in on a little secret from your life. Let them know where something happened, how something happened, how it made you feel. Instead of writing very vague, normal lyrics, try to come up with something that's more personal and like you're talking to a friend. Because if you let your listeners experience the moment you're singing about with you, they're gonna turn into your fans. And that's what music is about. It's about making people feel something. And the next thing is references. You probably heard that you should use reference tracks, you should have inspirations, and that's right, but a lot of people treat inspirations like copying. Someone says, I want to sound like SZA, and they grab a SZA type beat. Or I want to sound like Frank Ocean, and they record their vocals and ad-libs and pitch their vocals up like Frank Ocean on Blonde, and they take a Frank Ocean type beat and they just end up sounding like a copy. But the thing is, you can't make a better Frank Ocean type song than Frank Ocean himself. So how to use references then? Well, you need to figure out what you actually like about your references. For example, I like Frank Ocean, but I don't just say I like Frank Ocean and make a beat exactly like him. I really like the chord progressions in Frank Ocean's music because they are very interesting for pop music. So I try to copy that in my music. For you, for example, it can be the pitched vocals he uses on Blonde. Or you can copy an idea for lyrics, for a hook. But just understand what specifically you like about your references and try to imitate this one particular thing in your style. And that's really where production is important, because you can't really copy just one thing when you're using type beats. You have to work with a producer, or you have to produce yourself to blend your references with your own ideas and your own style. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today is the vocal, because a lot of people will out polish the vocal. Like, they'll tune it to perfection, they'll cut out all the wrong frequencies, and the vocal will sound clean, but it will sound almost too clean. Like when I'm mixing vocals or tuning vocals, sometimes I'll leave the little note that's out of tune because it makes the song, like it makes it feel like only this person could sing it. And obviously you have to tune your vocals, you have to use EQ so it doesn't sound harsh, so it isn't out of tune, but you can leave the little imperfections sometimes because they make you you. No one is perfect, and your music is neither perfect. You can leave some of the imperfections in your music, it's just gonna make it more personal. So with those three things, so writing more personal lyrics, figuring out the production and blending your references with your ideas, and then leaving some imperfections in the mix, I believe you're gonna make your songs sound more personal without making them sound messy or bad. But you need to find the right balance. And if you need a team that can help you with that and that can help you promote the song, check out the first link in the description and see if we would be a good fit to work together.